Shuklam Bharadaram Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasanna Dhyayet Sarva Vignopashantaye Saraswati Namastubhyam Parade Kamarupine Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir Bhavtu Me Sada Guru Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Ajnanatimidandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Dhyanamulam Gurormurtihi Pujamulam Gurupadam Mantramulam Gurorvakyam Mokshamulam Guru Kripaha Namostute Vyasa Vishala Buddhe Pullara Vindayata Patra Netra Yena Tvaya Bharata Taila Purnaha Prajwalito Jnanamaya Pradipaha Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. My humble prostrations to the lotus feet of my Pujya Gurudev, Pujya Sadguru Sri 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 Sai Kumar Ji, and my humble namaskars to Ashram's Uttaradhikari Sri Kirtima Ji. Sai 𝘔𝘩𝘪𝘴 to all of you, a very warm welcome. In the last session, we had discussed the third chapter, Karma Yoga. Today, we are entering the fourth chapter, Jnana Yoga, meaning the yoga of knowledge or wisdom. This chapter deals with Jnana Tapas, Jnana Yajna, Jnana Nauka, Jnana Agni, and Jnana Khadgam. That means in 5 different ways you can know about Jnana, knowledge, and understanding of the self. One is Tapas, one is Yajna, one is Nauka, one is Agni, and one is Khadgam. Tapas means penance, Yajna means sacrifice, Nauka means a boat which ferries us across the ocean, then Agni is fire, Khadgam means a sword. So through these 5 different paths, you can know about Jnana, theoretical knowledge, to understand about the Atman. The significance of spiritual knowledge and the qualifications of the man of knowledge are elaborately stated in this discourse. Therefore, this discourse is known as Jnana Yoga, the yoga of knowledge. The opening sloka of the 4th chapter is Sri Bhagavan Uvacha, a very auspicious beginning with Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. Sri Krishna says, Imam vivasvate yogam proktavanaham avyayam vivasvan manave praha manurikshva kave bravit. The meaning is, in the beginning of creation itself, Arjuna, I taught about the imperishable yoga of action and the wisdom arising from it to Vivasvan, the sun god. In the beginning of creation itself, I have taught it about the yoga of action and the wisdom arising from it. Vivasvan taught it to his son Manu, and Manu in turn taught it to his son Ikshvaku. So in this way, the knowledge of the Atma was handed down in regular succession from generation to generation. However, by long lapse of time, this yoga was lost to the world. Now, again, the same ancient yoga is being taught to you by me. You know why, Arjuna? Because you're not only my friend, but you're my devotee too. It is indeed the supreme secret, knowledge of action and the wisdom arising from it is the supreme secret. Every man has the same place on earth, created by God. See, it is not that some people are living above the earth. We human beings I'm talking about, we are not living above the earth, or some not living below the earth. All of us are placed on this earth planet in a like manner. The Lord has not shown any partiality between a king and a pauper, a pious man and a wicked man, a wise man and an ignorant. He did not show any partiality. All of us are placed on this earth in the same manner. All of us are living on this earth plane. But the status of living of all human beings is not the same. The status, the quality of life is not the same. It depends upon each one's karmic account. Remember, there are three types of karma. Karmano hyapi bodhavyam, bodham vyacha vikarmanah, akarmanascha bodhavyam, gehna karmano gatihi. Karmano hyapi bodhavyam, bodhavyam vyacha vikarmanah. The nature of action as prescribed by the Shastras means actions which are prescribed by the Shastras and actions which are not prescribed by the Shastras. That means prohibited by the Shastras and inaction. There are three types. Action which the Shastras support, actions which the Shastras prohibited, and inaction. All these are three different because deep and difficult to understand is the path of action. What is karma? That which should be done according to the Shastras. What the Shastras have described is karma, vihita karma, that is known as vihita karma. Then, what is another karma? Vikarma, that which is prohibited by the Shastras. It is known as nishaddha karma, which man should not do in his life. Nishiddha karma. And that akarma. Akarma means inaction, idleness, non-performance of any work. This is akarma. So, the nature of karma has an unfathomable mystery behind it. To understand it clearly and practice it is the way to liberation. Food appeases the hunger of all beings in the same manner. Everybody eats food. It goes into their stomach. It gets digested. Their hunger is appeased in the same manner. Water quenches the thirst of all. Pranavayu is spread equally upon all of us. We breathe in and out. It is the same manner. The sun shines on all equally without any bias. In case the earth, the food, water had discriminations, we would not have survived in this world. When the earth, food, water, air, the sun are so liberal in showering the energy equally on all of us, how much more liberal should the merciful Lord be? Isn't it? Because we are all his children. When the laws of righteousness are violated, when dharma is violated and suppressed, the Lord has to manifest himself for re-establishing dharma. God incarnates himself as a personal being by the power of his own Maya. Yada yada hi dharmasya ഗ്ലാനിർഭവതി bharata abhyuttanamadharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham. Whenever there is decline of dharma and rise of evil, the Lord manifests. The Lord again says, Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. For the protection of the good, for the destruction of the wicked, and for re-establishing dharma, yuge yuge, I take birth in every age. Now suppose a small child is there who is very naughty, is always up to mischief. So he does something naughty. And what does the mother do? The mother hits the child, scolds the child, chides the child. But in her heart, love overflows for her child. She does not entertain hatred towards her child. Whether she pampers or punishes the child, her love for the child never decreases, never changes. Likewise, the compassionate Lord has no hatred towards his children and living beings. He does not have any hatred towards his creation, towards us. Therefore, to punish the wicked is not an act of hatred, but a measure of the Lord's mercy to bring them into the fold of the righteous. Evil has to be removed, otherwise it spreads like wildfire and consumes the entire humanity. Evil is like the dreadful cancer disease in the human organism. If it is not removed by surgery, it will poison the whole system. Cancer, what happens to cancer? You have to remove it. Otherwise, it will spoil the whole system and totally destroys man. Hence, it is necessary, even so, it is necessary to punish the evildoers and save mankind from total corruption, destruction, and death. That is why the Lord incarnates from time to time. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, we hear about 𝘰𝘩𝘪𝘴. It is a very famous story, 𝘰𝘩𝘪𝘴. Gajendra's leg was caught in the crocodile's mouth. Unable to release itself from its clutches, the Gajendra was placed in a helpless situation. Gajendra, by the merit of his past birth, good deeds, he remembered the savior of all, Sri Mahavishnu, and cried out for help, shouting, Hari, please help me, please rescue me, please come to my aid. I seek your refuge. The moment Sri Hari heard his cry, without losing a second, without informing his consort, Lakshmi Devi, forgetting to take his uttariyam. Uttariyam means a piece of cloth which they have it on the shoulder. Uttariyam, his conch and mace, went barefoot. He ran to rescue his devotee who was in pain and peril. When the child is in pain or misery, the mother does not wait for somebody to come and rescue the child, to help the child. What she does, she plunges into action. She rushes forth to rescue and protect her child. If an ordinary mother has so much love and affection for her child, how much more would the Lord have for his children, love and compassion? All children are dear to him. We are all his children. So we are, all of us are dear to him. Dharmo rakshati rakshitaha. If one protects dharma, dharma in turn protects you. Dharma alone gives peace and prosperity to humanity. Men destroy themselves in 1,000 ways. The whole scheme of creation will be disturbed and the very purpose of human existence is defeated. Hence, the righteous way of life has to be kept clear and clean for humanity to tread the path of God realization. For that purpose, the Lord manifests himself. Therefore, whoever follows the dharmic way of life is doing God's work. Whoever defies dharma is the foe of the Lord, and he shall be destroyed by the Lord, punished by the Lord. A demon named 𝘴𝘠𝑚𝑒𝑘𝑎 stole the Vedas from Lord Brahma and hid himself deep in the ocean. What did Sri Mahavishnu do? He incarnated at 𝘠𝑚𝑡𝑠𝑦-avatara, killed the demon and revived the Vedas. The Vedas were then handed over to Lord Brahma. In order to obtain nectar, it was essential to churn the milky ocean. Sri Mahavishnu descended as the 𝑘ūrma-avatara and helped the Devatas by keeping the mountain of Mandara on his back for the churning. Hiranyaksha grabbed the earth, rolled it like a mat and hid it in the ocean. Hearing the pitiable cry of Mother Earth, Sri Mahavishnu took the Varaha avatar, the avatar of a bow, fought with the demon, killed him and brought the earth from the ocean by holding it on his tusks. In reality, is there a time where and when God is not there? The Lord has clearly stated that he is all-pervading, omnipotent, omnipresent and omniscient, and the whole of creation is born from him. Jnana is all pure. To acquire jnana, you need shraddha, absolute faith, concentration and control of the sense organs. When the attitude behind the karma changes, in the earlier sessions we had discussed, karma does not bind. It is the attitude behind the karma that binds. So when the attitude behind the karma changes, that karma which till then binds us in bondage is transformed into yoga, karma yoga. Ratnakar was a dacoit who ruthlessly looted people. He was a wayside robber. Blessed with the tendencies of his past birth, one day he came across sage Narada, who made him realize his folly and initiated him with the sacred name of Rama. Being a tribal person, he was unable to utter even the name of Rama. So Narada made him chant. There was dung lying on the ground. So Narada pointed out to the dung and asked, what is it that you call in your language? He said, Mara. So he said, okay, chant this name. Mara, the chanting of Mara, Mara, Mara automatically changed to Rama, Rama, Rama. It eventually turned out to be Rama. In this way, he sat in deep meditation for 60,000 years and was covered with a huge anthill, a heap of anthill known as Valmikam. In Sanskrit, it is known as Valmikam. Hence, he got the name Valmiki and authored the great epic Ramayana. A jnani treats the misery of others as his own. When someone is suffering, when a Satpurusha sees a common man suffering, he feels for that. He undergoes so much suffering and pain that it is as if the Satpurusha himself is experiencing that misery. Karma performed by such a jnani will be selfless without aiming for personal benefit. Consequently, such karmas do not put him in bondage. What the Satpurusha does is for the welfare of the whole mankind. So whatever he does is not bound by karma, because what he does is karma yoga. What is jnana? Now, in this chapter, we are dealing with jnana. in jnana also there is karma. Because without karma yoga, you cannot attain jnana. It is only through karma yoga you can attain jnana. But what we are speaking is only theoretical knowledge. What is jnana? You see a rope in darkness and you imagine it to be a snake. You say, oh my God, there's a snake, snake, snake. You start shouting and screaming, snake, snake, snake. Everybody comes running. It is dark. Everybody thinks it is a snake. One wise man gets a light, and in the illumination of that light, you see it's not a snake, it is a rope. 𝘰𝘩𝘪𝘴, you call it in Sanskrit. 𝘰𝘩𝘪𝘴, it is a rope. So then you come to know the truth. How did you come to know the truth? When you brought the light, when the light was brought, when darkness dispelled, when the light dispelled the darkness, you came to know that it is only a rope, but not a snake. First, you were in delusion. And what was the reason for that delusion? Ignorance. Why ignorance? Because there was no light. Likewise, in worldly life, man undergoes pain and misery. What is the reason for that, for undergoing pain and misery? He is unable to know his true form. He attaches himself to the body. He is in delusion and he thinks he is the physical body and limits himself to it. When the brightest of brightest, the flame of knowledge is burning bright within his innermost recesses of the heart, he still thinks that I am the body. Anything goes wrong, he confines himself to the physical body and doesn't think beyond that. And so it is by way of nishkama karma, he has to plow the field of the heart. Today, Sri Krishna is sowing the seed of jnana. That is the 4th chapter, which will grow into a huge tree, and the wonderful fruit of moksha can be obtained. चातुर्वर्ण्यं मया सृष्टं गुणकर्म विभागशः तस्य कर्तारमपि मां विद्य कर्तारमव्ययम्. Chaturvarnyam maya srishtam. Sri Krishna is saying, the fourfold caste has been created by me. Chaturvarnyam is fourfold caste, has been created by me according to the differentiation of qualities and functions. Though I am its author, know me as non-doer eternal. So how did he divide Chaturvarnyam? The qualities are Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. And what are the castes? Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaisyas, Shudras. Fourfold. And what are the duties? What do the Brahmanas do? They do penance and self-control. They control their sense organs. They control their mind. That is the duty of the Brahmanas. And what is their qualities? Sattva Guna. And next comes Kshatriyas. What is the duty of the Kshatriyas? Domination, ruling, kingship, and go for war. That is, and the quality is Rajas. And next is Vaisyas. What do the Vaisyas do? Trade and commerce, business. They do business. And what are their qualities? Rajas plus Tamas. And next comes Shudras. What are the duties of the Shudras? Labor, work, and service. And what is the quality? Tamas. So in this way, the Lord created Chaturvarnyam Maya Srishtam Guna Karma Vibhagasha. Again, in the 16th or the 17th chapter, we'll talk about this Brahmana, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, Shudras in a detailed manner. So this, in short, we'll know today. So the mystery of the Lord's action in the universe is to remain detached and unaffected by his work. Everybody, whatever their duty is, they should do it with commitment, and that action, that work should be diverted to yoga, karma yoga. That means surrender all the fruits of action to the Lord, surrender the work to God, then it becomes karma yoga. This reminds me of a very interesting story that took place in a train. There were many passengers sitting in the train, traveling together, all co-passengers. So one person was dressed in khadi clothes. There was one curious passenger, curiosity, very curious. He wanted to know why he had a cap also, one khadi cap on his head. So he asked that man, "Sir, may I know your caste?" He asked that man in khadi clothes. That man smiled at him and said, "You asking me what my caste is? Oh, what should I tell you about my caste? See, when I get up in the morning and wash my toilet, wash my bathroom, I'm a scavenger. When I sweep my floor, mop the floor, I'm a scavenger. When I shave my beard, I'm a barber. Then, when I wash clothes, when I wash my clothes, I'm a washerman. When I do puja, I do any ritual, I'm a Brahmin. I'm a priest. When I count money, I'm a Vaisya. When I clean my footwear, I'm a cobbler. Now tell me, to which caste I belong? I do all these duties in a day. That man was stunned to hear this. He said, "Oh, sorry, if you don't want to tell your caste." Okay. Who was this man who gave such a smart answer? He was none other than Acharya Kripalani, the follower of Mahatma Gandhi. This happened in a train travel. And as Sadhguruji says, there are only 4 kinds of creatures in this world: worms and insects, animals, birds, and human beings. Castes are but man-made. Now coming back, you must have heard about Ramatirtha. He was a professor, a renowned professor in mathematics who was working in the university in Lucknow. He was very much inclined to the spiritual path, and he gave up that job, his profession, and took up sannyasa. He became a renunciate. After renouncing everything, after wearing the ochre robe, he went to America to preach on Vedanta. Thousands of people were attracted by his lectures. He was a good speaker. In one of his talks, he said, "God is everywhere." So one man got up from the crowd and said, "Excuse me, sir, what you say is not correct. God is nowhere." "Oh, is it?" Ramatirtha gave a big smile and said, "Okay, young gentleman, please come here and write your statement on this blackboard." There was a blackboard, and that young gentleman wrote the statement, "God is nowhere." Ramatirtha went and underlined the words "nowhere" and made it one word, "God is now here." See the difference. God is residing in all our hearts. We cannot confine God to the temple. You just can't confine God that He is in the temple only, or within the 4 walls of your puja altar. He is subtler than the subtlest. Like Swami Vivekananda says, it is better to be born in a church but not die there. That means what he says is, Be born in a church. Don't confine God only to the church. Go beyond that. That is the meaning. Now, let's come back to the main topic about jnana. The 5 types of jnana. In the introductory talk, we heard how many types there are: jnana tapas, jnana yajna, jnana nauka, jnana agni, and jnana khadgam. So first is jnana tapas. Tapas means penance. So what is jnana tapas? It is the penance to restrain the sense organs from sensual pleasures. What are the sense organs? The eyes, ears, nose, mouth, and tongue. And the skin also. Shabda, sparsha, rupa, rasa, gandha. Shabda. You hear noise, sounds with the ears. Shabda. Sparsha. You feel with the skin, touch. Shabda. Shabda, sparsha. Rupa. You see with the eyes. Rasa. Tongue. You taste with the tongue. Shabda, sparsha, rupa, rasa, gandha. You smell with the nose. So these are the 5 sense organs. So you have to restrain them from sensual pleasures. That is jnana tapas. Next is, it is a penance to get rid of desires. Jnana, you have to get rid of desires. You have to get rid of all sensual pleasures. You have to get rid of raga and dvesha. What is raga and dvesha? Raga is likes and dvesha is dislikes. You have so many likes, you have so many dislikes. So you have to get rid of them. Like you have to get rid of your fear, anger, hatred, jealousy, egoism. All this you have to get rid of. This is all penance, jnana tapas. Then in this way, once you remove the dirt clinging to the mind, it becomes pure gold-like. You go to a goldsmith to sell a gold ornament. First he'll see how pure it is. He wants only pure gold. Likewise, God also wants a pure mind. As our Sadhguruji says, pure vision is the lamp lit for God. Pure vision is the lamp lit to God. Pure voice is the voice of the Vedas. Pure mind is the dwelling place of God. So what God wants is a pure mind. He doesn't want any, just as the goldsmith doesn't want impure gold with impurities filled in it, even God doesn't accept a mind filled with impurities. What are those impurities? All our vices, all our weaknesses. What are they? Anger. No, I don't have anger, you say. Jealousy. No, I don't have jealousy. Selfishness. No, I don't have selfishness. But if you dive deep into yourself and ask your conscience, because you can't cheat your own self. You can cheat anybody in this world, but not your own self. Your conscience will tell you what you are doing, what you are, how you are. So you will know to which level you are. So you have to get rid of all the weaknesses to make your mind pure. So after this jnana tapas comes jnana yajna. Yajna means sacrifice. History demonstrates a number of people and kings in the past who performed many yajnas, like 𝘴𝘩𝘕𝘓 yajna, Rajasuya yajna. All these yajnas were associated with a lot of paraphernalia, expensive rituals, which an ordinary common man cannot afford. But Sri Krishna says, Jnana Yajna is the best among them. Any action performed with a sense of offering to the Lord and without passion, you should not be attached to it. You should offer that action to the Lord. That becomes a yajna. That kind of action will not cause a bondage. You have to purge the mind of all its impurities. That creates favorable conditions for the generation of knowledge. Sharing knowledge is also jnana. Jnana yajna means you have to clean the mind. It is correlated with jnana tapas. To clean the mind, you have to do jnana tapas. You have to do penance. You have to clean the mind. Then only knowledge can be generated in such a mind. And a person sharing knowledge with others is also jnana yajna. Now we are sharing knowledge. This is also a jnana yajna. Gita jnana yajna, you can say. Next comes jnana nauka. Nauka means boat. What does the boat do? It helps us to ferry us across the river. To ferry us across the ocean of sansar, the boat of knowledge is very essential. A doubt may arise. Earlier, in my past births, I may have committed many sins and mistakes, many negative qualities. I may have committed negative things. How can I get rid of all its effects, negative effects? See, however deep the ocean may be, it is not a concern for the boat. The ocean is very deep, but the boat will ferry you across the ocean with the oars. The oars are there and it will help you to ferry the ocean. Even if a terrible sin has been committed, with the oar of knowledge, you can easily cross the ocean of sansara. For that, you have to approach a self-realized guru. There are many gurus in this world, many gurus. But it is rather very difficult to get a true Sadguru. A Sadguru is one who takes you face to face with God. He behaves like an ordinary person, mingles with the ordinary people, talks like an ordinary man, but his conscience is above worldly existence, always placed in the supreme consciousness. 𝘚𝑑𝑉𝑑𝑦 𝑝𝑟णिपातेन परिप्रश्नेन सेवया उपदेक्ष्यन्ति ते ज्ञानम 𝘰𝑗्ञानिनस्तत्त्वदर्शिनः. Fourth chapter. The moment we say this, it reminds us of Shirdi Sai Baba and Nana Sahib Chandorkar. Because once Nana Sahib Chandorkar was pressing Baba's feet and muttering to himself. He was going on good, something muttering. So Baba, what is it, Nana, that you're muttering so much? He said, Baba, it is a sloka from the Bhagavad Gita. Oh, what is that sloka? Tell me. Then Nana repeated this sloka. 𝘚𝑑𝑉𝑑𝑦 𝘚णिपातेन परिप्रश्नेन सेवया उपदेक्ष्यन्ति ते ज्ञानम 𝘰𝑗्ञानिनस्तत्त्वदर्शिनः. What is the meaning of this sloka? Know that knowledge by prostration. Know that knowledge. That knowledge means knowledge of the self. By prostration, question, and service to the Guru. It is only the Guru who is a realized soul who can instruct you in that knowledge. Pariprashnena. What is the meaning of pariprashnena? Means approach the Guru with folded hands in namaskara mudra. Head bent low and humbly ask, Gurudev, I am whirling in this ocean of sansar. Please guide me. Show me the way to come out of it. Here with folded hands, head bent low means not just the physical bending of the head, physical folding of the hands. It implies self-surrender. Surrender yourself. That is what Baba told, Shirdi Sai Baba told Nana Sahib Chandorkar. Surrender yourself to the Guru completely, 100%. Sevaya. What does Sevaya mean? Render Guru Seva. fan the Guru, prepare food for the Guru, bring fruits and flowers for his worship, clean his room, wash his clothes, press his feet. All this is Guru Seva, Sevaya. Remember that the Guru does not require your seva. He doesn't require any seva from anybody. It is meant only for our benefit, for our profit, to grow as a disciple. To grow as a disciple, the disciple requires seva, sevaya. He has to serve the Guru, but the Guru does not require any seva. It is for the upliftment of the disciple that the Guru gives an opportunity to the disciple to render his seva. That's all. It is an act of devotion. If the Guru employs him in some work, any sundry work, it is a blessing that the Guru confers on the aspirant. Know that even if you get a little seva to render your Guru, to render to your Guru, it's a great, great blessing, because you can redeem yourself from your karmic afflictions. We come across instances of utterly illiterate persons rising to the heights of spiritual glory by simply devoted service to the Guru. Yeah. There are so many people. Their love for the Guru is the open secret of self-realization, and service works the miracles. Lord Krishna too served his Guru Sandipani when he was in Gurukul. He served his Guru like an ordinary disciple. He did not say, I am God, I shouldn't do this, I shouldn't do that. No. Like an ordinary disciple, he served Guru Sandipani. Adi Shankaracharya served his Guru, 𝘁𝑉𝑚 𝘠𝑒𝑚. He too, like an ordinary man, served his Guru. You know, Adi Shankaracharya was once in Sringeri, and a poor couple come with their son, only son. That boy happened to be somewhere around 11 or 12 years age, and he seemed to a very dull-headed boy. He never used to speak to anyone, very quiet, inactive. He was all the time inactive. So they get their son, his name is Giri, to seek Shankaracharya's blessings so that there is a transformation in the son. But the boy seemed very humble. He was very inactive, he did not have any knowledge of Sanskrit and the Shastras, and he did not know how to read and write also. The moment Shankaracharya saw this boy, he accepted him as his disciple. He said, Giri, come along with me. Even the parents left the boy. Shankaracharya took that boy along with him. Every day during the class, every day there used to be classes. Shankaracharya had a number of disciples and he used to teach the Vedanta to them. So every day there were classes for the disciples, and whenever this boy sat in the class, it was a futile waste. He could not understand a word. He could not repeat the slokas, recite the slokas. It was just waste of time. So he could not even utter a word. Consequently, the Acharya kept him as his personal attender, and made him do all the sundry jobs. However, Giri was unrivaled in scrupulous personal attention to the Acharya. He felt very happy to serve the Acharya. He used to clean his room, make his bed, wash his clothes, go to the forest, pluck flowers, pluck fruits for the Acharya's puja. He did everything what the Acharya wanted. He took great care in rendering this service. Whatever he did it uttering Gurudev, Gurudev. That was the only thing he could utter, Gurudev, Gurudev. All the other disciples naturally entertained a lesser idea of his intellect. They looked down upon him. They thought he's good for nothing, useless creature. Even Padmapada, the foremost disciple of the Acharya, was not free from this misconception. Once when Giri had gone to the river for washing the Guru's clothes, the Acharya waited for his arrival before he could begin his exposition. The other disciples were impatient. Padmapada could not restrain himself. He said, Acharya, why is it that you're not starting the lesson today? For whom are you waiting? The Acharya said, I am waiting for Giri. So all the boys started laughing. Giri, they said. Why? They had a lower opinion on Giri. They said, why are you waiting for Giri, Acharya? It's a waste of time. He doesn't know how to utter a word also. He can't understand anything. It is as if it is like talking to the wall. So why waste our time for waiting for Giri? Shankaracharya naturally did not relish these remarks on Giri. He thought, I should put an end to my disciples' ignorance and self-conceitedness. Meanwhile, Giri was washing the Acharya's clothes on the bank of the river. Though he was washing the clothes, his mind was totally fixed on his Gurudev. He had a feeling in his mind, I'm such a dull-head boy. I'm not like the other boys, clever, smart, pick up everything what the Acharya teaches them. Why am I made like this? So he was in tears and thinking of only his Guru when all the boys are sitting in the class listening to the Acharya's discourse. I alone am here washing the clothes of my Gurudev. I know it is my duty, it is my seva, but I too want to learn. He connected his mind to the Guru. His thoughts were fully absorbed on Shankaracharya. They too, when the disciples spoke ill about Giri, Shankaracharya closed his eyes and for a minute fixed his mind on Giri. So in a flash, the disciple Giri and the Acharya both were connected. They were so much connected that he could attain the knowledge what the Shankaracharya was teaching in the class. For a moment, Giri, all of a sudden, Giri felt a surge in his mind, even though his hands were washing the clothes. Without any effort, slokas were just whirling in his mind. By that time, he finished washing the clothes. As the slokas were surging, noticing the sudden transformation in his mental attitude, Giri just put the washed clothes on his shoulder. He puts it on his shoulder and went running to the Acharya. He was literally in bliss, standing before the Acharya with hands folded in Namaskara Mudra. Giri sang the praise of the Acharya in a few brilliant stanzas in Totaka meter. It is a raga known as Totaka. All the other disciples in the class, as well as the Acharya, were spellbound. The disciples were shocked to notice that Giri could pronounce the hard Sanskrit words very, very fluently. Till then, he couldn't utter a word. But now, such fluency. As Giri sang the slokas in Totaka meter, he was named Totakacharya. The slokas became famous as Totakashtakam. From then on, he was counted as one of the foremost disciples of Adi Shankaracharya. The Acharya had four main disciples. They were Hastamalakacharya, Sureshwaracharya, Padmapadacharya, and added to these three was Totakacharya, who later became Peethadipatis of four mutts of the Acharya in the four corners of our country for the sustenance and propagation of Sanatana Dharma. Each one of them was unrivaled in their own way. Padmapada for intense devotion, Totaka for Guru Seva, exemplary Guru Seva, Hastamalaka for supreme self-realization, and Sureshwara for deep learning of the Atma. Hastamalaka was the head of Govardhana Mutt in the east. Sureshwara was the head of Sringeri Sharada Mutt in the south. Padmapada was the head of Dwaraka Mutt in the west. Totaka was the head of Jyotir Mutt in the north. Totakacharya, just by selfless and loving service to the Guru, he could connect with the Guru and transform his life and become a Peethadipati. Just with his seva, he became such a great disciple. So Guru Seva is that very, very, very important for each and every aspirant, for each and every sadhaka. The rice grain is white, but covered by a brown colored husk. We remove the husk, cook the rice and eat it. Even so, man is covered by the husk of misdeeds caused by ignorance. Just as we remove the husk from the rice grain, remove the husk of the misdeeds by gaining the company of Satpurushas, of Sadgurus, of Mahatmas. If man removes his veil of ignorance, the Jiva becomes Shiva. He has so much power inherent in him. This is Jnana Nauka. You have to come under the refuge of a Guru. And next comes Jnanagni. In the past several births, the Jiva has committed many sins which have mounted up. We have committed so many sins. That is why we undergo so much suffering in this present birth. And how do we get away with it? Just light a matchstick and keep it underneath. It will be burnt to ashes. A huge cotton bale is there. What you do? Just light a matchstick and keep it underneath. It is burnt to ashes. It is essential for each and every one to earn in his lifetime the flame of fire, Jnana Jyoti. Arjuna has lit the Jnana Jyoti and all his afflictions faded away. If we also try through abhyasa, through practice, we can attain a higher state. If there is lethargy, procrastination, one cannot attain moksha in this birth. Next comes Jnana Khadga. Khadga means sword. To slay all doubts, this knowledge, the sword of knowledge is necessary, and the most important thing one can obtain in this world is Atmajnana. Prahlada was a great devotee. To annihilate Hiranyakashipa, the Lord incarnate in the form of half man, half lion, Narasimha avatar. After killing Hiranyakashipa, Lord Narasimha called Prahlada to his side, and as Prahlada was brought up in a negative atmosphere, a very negative atmosphere. So he had to give his vibrations, his energy. In spite of it, Prahlada went against the wishes of his father and became an ardent devotee of the Lord. Lord Narasimha requested Prahlada, I am pleased with your devotion. Ask for a boon, it shall be granted. Prahlada pondered for a while and said, he thought for a while, what should I ask? Then he decided, 𝘰𝘷𝘪𝘴 𝘪𝘵𝑚. That which is seen in time is lost in time. So what should I ask for, O Lord? You are the dispeller of darkness. Therefore, grant me that what you think best. It was then that Lord Narasimha initiated Prahlada with the Atma Jnana. Guru will initiate. You have to go through the whole process of sadhana. Guru will just initiate. You have to walk. He will show you the path to Tirupati. You have to go to Tirupati. You have to travel. That's all. The aspirant has to travel. The Guru is like a signboard. Even so, Shastras are signboards which will direct you. If you go this way, you will go to hell. Turn right, it will take you to heaven. But without choosing hell or heaven path, if one paves the way for liberation, such a person is said to possess viveka. 𝘔𝘩𝘓𝘓 लभते ज्ञानम तत्परः संयतेन्द्रियः ज्ञानम लब्ध्वा param shanti machirenāधिगच्छति. The man of faith, having knowledge as his supreme goal, having controlled the senses, obtained knowledge of Atma, having obtained that, enjoys peace of mind, says Sri Krishna. Whoever has absolute faith in Guru, God and the Shastras, Guru and God, the Shastras are available. Gautama Muni had many disciples who lived in his ashram to learn the Shastras. One day, the disciples noticed that the Guru was in a very pensive mood. When they inquired, the Muni said, my dear boys, this province is stricken by famine and drought. How would my 400 cows, he had 400 cows in his ashram, how will they survive here with food crisis and scarcity? There is famine and drought everywhere. There is no food, there is no water. How will my 400 cows survive? Can any one of you take these cows to the far off green fields and get them back after everything returns to normalcy? This was the question put forth by the Guru. Who? Gautama Muni. Nobody answered. Everybody was scared to leave the ashram and go far off. They kept silent. Meanwhile, a disciple named Satyakama came forward and willingly offered himself to abide by the Guru's instructions. The Guru was pleased with Satyakama and informed him to return only after the cows multiplied to 1,000. That means the 400 cows should become 1,000 cows. With faith in the master, Satyakama set off to a far-off place and he reached a beautiful landscape surrounded by hilltops and a flowing river. He settled there with the cows. Every morning, after he completed his routine japa, meditation, Surya Namaskar, he would take the cows for grazing. While the cows were grazing, Satyakama would spend time in divine contemplation. He never counted the number of days he had been away from the ashram or the number of cows that were multiplying. For him, Go Seva was equal to Guru Seva. Lord Indra was immensely pleased with Satyakama's Guru Bhakti and Seva and taught him the essence of the Vedas. He comes down to Bhuloka and teaches him the essence of the Vedas. After Indra initiated him with the knowledge of the Vedas, he informed Satyakama that the number of cows has reached 1,000 and it is high time you go back to your ashram. Count the number of cows, they are 1,000. Satyakama doesn't know about it. Then Satyakama expressed his gratitude and got ready to return to the ashram. He was eager to meet his Guru, Gautama Muni. When the Guru saw the resplendent glow on Satyakama's face and the illumination surrounding his body, the aura, the halo surrounding his body, he at once grasped all that had happened, how Indra came and initiated him with the knowledge of the Vedas. Gautama Muni embraced his disciple. With tears of joy trickling down his eyes, he blessed Satyakama. With faith in the master, having controlled his senses, considering knowledge as his supreme goal, Satyakama obtained the supreme knowledge of the Atman. So what one requires is control of the senses and absolute faith in God and the Guru. That will lead to jnana. So today we end this session. Remember, unity in diversity. Bodies are many. Self is one. Stars are many. Sky is one. Nations are many. World is one. Religions are many. Truth is one. Beings are many. Breath is one. If you know this, then you shall enjoy life in peace and harmony. Now, let's recite the slokas. Today, we are in the 4th chapter. So first, we'll recite the Dhyana sloka, the 4th Dhyana sloka, and then go to the chapter 4 sloka. Om Sarvopanishado Gavo.
Sarvopanishado Gavo. Sarvopanishado Gavo. Sarvopanishado Gavo.
Dogdha Gopala Nandanaha.
Dogdha Gopala Nandanaha. Dogdha Gopala Nandanaha. Dogdha Gopala Nandanaha.
Partho Vatsav Sudhir Bhokta.
Partho Vatsav Sudhir Bhokta. Partho Vatsav Sudhir Bhokta. Partho Vatsav Sudhir Bhokta.
Dugdam Gitamrutam Mahate.
Dugdam Gitamrutam Mahate. Dugdam Gitamrutam Mahate. Dugdam Gitamrutam Mahate.
Sarvopanishado Gavo. Dogda Gopala Nandanaha.
Sarvopanishado Gavo. Dogdha Gopala Nandanaha.
Partho Vatsav Sudhir Bhokta. Dugdam Gitamrutam Mahate.
Partho Vatsav Sudhir Bhokta. Dugdam Gitamrutam Mahate.
Now, chapter 4 sloka. Paritranaya sadhunam.
Paritranaya sadhunam. Paritranaya sadhunam. Paritranaya sadhunam.
Vinashaya cha dushkrutam.
Vinasaya cha dushkrutam. Vinasaya cha dushkrutam. Vinasaya cha dushkrutam.
Dharma samstapanarthaya.
Dharma samstapanarthaya. Dharma samstapanarthaya. Dharma samstapanarthaya.
Sambhavami yuge yuge.
Sambhavami yuge yuge. Sambhavami yuge yuge. Sambhavami yuge yuge.
Paritranaya sadhunam. Vinashaya cha dushkrutam.
Paritranaya sadhunam. Vinasaya cha dushkrutam.
Dharma samstapanarthaya. Sambhavami yuge yuge.
Dharma samstapanarthaya. Sambhavami yuge yuge.
Now we'll repeat from the beginning. Paritranaya. all the 4 dhyana shlokas and the 4 chapter shlokas. Start.
ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन घ्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीं अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीं नमोऽस्तु ते व्यासविशालबुद्धे पुल्लारविन्दायतपत्रनेत्र येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णः प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयः प्रदीपः प्रपन्नपारिजाताय स्तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। सर्वोपनिषदो गावो दोग्धा गोपालनन्दनः पार्थो वत्सः सुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महते। ॐ श्री परमात्मने नमः। अथ श्रीमद्भगवद्गीता धृतराष्ट्र उवाच धर्मक्षेत्रे कुरुक्षेत्रे समवेतायुयुत्सवः मामकः पाण्डवाश्चैव किमकुर्वत सञ्जय। अर्जुन उवाच न काङ्क्षे विजयं कृष्ण न च राज्यं सुखानि च किं नो राज्येन गोविन्द किं भोगैर्जीवितेन वा। श्रीभगवानुवाच जातस्य हि ध्रुवो मृत्युः ध्रुवं जन्म मृतस्य च तस्मादपरिहार्येऽर्थे न त्वं शोचितुमर्हसि। नियतं कुरु कर्म त्वं कर्म ज्यायो ह्यकर्मणः शरीरयात्रापि च ते न प्रसिद्ध्येद कर्मणः। परित्राणाय साधूनां विनाशाय च दुष्कृतां धर्म संस्थापनार्थाय संभवामि युगे युगे।
So this is for today's session. Now we'll end the class with a prayer. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Thank you all. We'll meet again in the next session, that is 28th Thursday. Okay, till then, Hari Om.